Good morning. Today's topic, threats to biodiversity. So, how the biodiversity is affected, I'm going to explain in this video. So, these are the major threats. First one is habitat destruction, and second one, invasive species, genetic pollution, overexploitation, and hybridization, climatic change, and diseases. And another important, human overpopulation. So these are the major threats to biodiversity. So simply, classifying a simple five threats. One is habitat destruction, and second one is invasive species, and third one is population growth, pollution, and overconsumption, overusage, or over exploitation of the resources. So this is the five. So these are the threats to biodiversity. Threats means these are the species already existed. It may be a genetic, or it may be a species, or it may be ecosystem. So, but these are affected. How these are affected, that we will discuss in this topic. So in the last century, due to rapid industrialization process, so there is a huge demand for the furniture and a huge high pressure on the forest resources, either for the shelter purpose or food purpose or clothing or industrial or commercial goods, industrial activities. So these are the major, and in habitat loss and degradation are major causes of species extinction, affecting 89% of all our threatened birds. So this is in a chain process. Suppose for any ecosystem, the producers in the food chain, the lowest part occupied by the producers, and the dependents, that is primary consumers and secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. So this is in a pyramid. So if the plants are, or the forests are affected, if the plants are severely affected, so the destruction of plants or deforestation, so the dependents, that is primary consumers, is also severely affected because lack of food material. Okay, and that is threats to, indirect way of threats to biodiversity. So for the deforestation or destruction of wetlands or forests, the major reason is, one is either commercial available commercial purpose, maybe those type of plants, good number of commercial usages, and maybe those type of plants may be medicinal uses, and maybe the forest land may convert it into agricultural land, because rapid increasing of population, so the food is not sufficient for all the people. So there is a huge pressure on the forest resources, and the forest land is converted into agricultural land. That may be a possible. And due to forest fire, the forest may severely affected. So in the forests, the animals, birds, wildlife, plants are severely affected because of forest fires. So the main causes of habitat or agricultural activities, that is already explained. So, and mining activities, that land may be used for the mining extraction process, or mineral deposits may be there in the forest area. That is also a second. And development, forest land is converted into agricultural land, and shelters construction, road construction, settlement, and industries establishment. All these are major reasons to threats to biodiversity. So nearly more than 50% of wildlife habitat has been destroyed in 49 out of 61 World War tropical countries. So, and in the next topic, in the same threat as to biodiversity, and the topic subtopic is poaching of wildlife. Poaching means killing or hunting of animals. So it's not only related to animals; it's also related to plants. So poaching is another threat that has emerged in recent decades. So as one of the primary reason decline is number of species. So because of poaching, killing, whatever, or hunting of animals and destroying of plants. So is a major reason for the decrease in species availability. So in the wildlife is sold and traded in many countries for live specimen, folk medicines, forms, skin, and other products such as ivory, horns, etc., amounting to millions of dollars. Suppose there are certain organisms or animals. Uh, Example, you are collecting poison from the snake. So the poison concentration may differ from one snake to another snake. This poison maybe we can use in the medicine. So hunting of killing of those type of snakes, that is a decline. And tiger skins, deer skins have a greater demand in the market. So first one is medicinal and second one is the only commercial purpose, and elephant ivory horns are we can use in a to prepare new designing materials, that is poaching. So man-wildlife conflicts. So the conflict between man and wildlife started with the evolution of man. Suppose how it is happened means, so we are completely the villages which are depend on the forest areas. Okay, so for the firewood and medicines and fruits, I mean for food purpose. So they are depend on the forest areas. And for commercial purpose, again they are dependent on the forest areas. So if we are destroying the forest, that is deforestation, because of the population is gradually increasing. So there is a lot of pressure on the forest areas, and the forest area is converted into agricultural land. So the animals, the wild animals that are in the forest, so those are come and enter into the villages. So in this process, so the animals may destroy the agricultural crops. So there is a conflict between man and wildlife. The shelters are affected because of human beings, and the food availability, lack of food availability for the wild animals. So the wild animals may enter into the villages. That is known as man-wildlife conflict. So poaching is an unlawful practice in which animal is hunted illegally, mainly for commercial reasons, and is sold and traded in many countries for live specimen, as already explained. The country losses on its natural wealth and prosperity, in the same time ecological balance receives major setbacks. So again, this is the poaching. Millions of years in the Stone Age, history of poaching. So in the millions of years, nearly 4,000 to 5,000 years back, so the man mainly depend on the animals for the meat. survival, that is poaching, and followed through the ages, and we are following from nearly 4 or 5000 BC to now onwards also. But in the previous times, we are depending only for the survival. Now we are trading. Now we are hunting or killing the animals and plants for the commercial purpose. That is the difference. So illegal killing again, some animals are sold, same as already explained. So poaching is not simply named to animals; it's also for the plants also too. So there is some wildlife plants already there. So those are having medicinal applications. So how this poaching is in the poaching, there is a disruption in the food chain. That means it affects the ecosystem, that is forest ecosystem, and that will cause major problem in our ecosystem, resulting eventually in the adoptions of animals and our species beyond human control. So this generally happen because of poaching. Poaching results in animals being hunted for them to have time to reproduce and repopulate. If we are completely killing the animals, so the population is gradually decreasing, and the reserves, biological reserves are also severely affected. So these are the few human causes. So largest cause is endangered species and extinction. So endangered means they are ready to danger, and then poaching occurs mainly in Africa, but also occurs in Asian countries. Recently, our countries is also, our Asian countries is also in the poaching space. Habitat degradation, the other causes extinction is the major reasons, and climatic change. Because of global warming, the wild plants and animals and certain types of birds also affected. That is the climatic change. And lack of water, lack of nutrients, and diseases may affected to the animal bodies. So those are affected. And then deforestation. So as already explained. So these are the major reasons for the poaching. Thank you.